Hello, Planet Poke people, it's me, Diogen Z. I hope you're all enjoying your weekends and are ready for some training because it's time for Pokemon of the Week. This week, we have a bit of a spitfire to raise. It's Flareon, and I've got two sets for you to look at and comment below if you've got some critiques about it, which I always carefully scan the comments afterwards, you all should know, because I cannot myself become a better trainer unless I have the insights of others and the way that they strategize their teams. So jumping right into it, its ability Flash Fire is awesome. Fantastic ability for it to have, and completely negates any fire type move that your opponent may launch at you. So you can already see the perfect bait and switch scenario setting up here. If you have, say, Virizion on your team and currently out, I don't know if I'm saying that right. Whenever I get a look at that new Pokemon's name, I always think it's Verizon. But Virizion, that grass fighting type that I often see in the metagame now, if you have that on the field and your opponent has Heatran, well, you can pretty much assume they're going to do something like a Lava Plume or other devastating fire type move. That is, if they didn't already set up on you and put in their arena traps. But assuming they did all that, and you can predict that a fire type move is coming, you switch out to our trusty Flareon here, and Flash Fire will absorb the fire type move and use it towards Flareon's fire type attacking advantage. This gives Flareon a 1.5 boost, 1.5 times boost on any fire type move. So this works for special and normal physical attacks, but on this set, I'm keeping it mainly physical attack. And you can see clearly why from the base stats. I mean, 130 is the highest stat that Flareon has to wield, and you want to use that to your advantage. It doesn't really make sense to go against the grain of stats and their natural affinities towards things when such a powerful boost and capable move pool exists for this set. While Flareon doesn't have a large range of physical attacks to use, it does have some key ones that you can include that you'll have to span multiple generations for. What I mean by that is Body Slam doing 85 base power damage, it's a normal type move, can only be obtained when training in the 4th generation. Iron Tail is only a move tutor move that's given out by Black and White. So you'll have to start out training in the 4th gen and Eevee, evolving it at whatever point you can to include Body Slam on it, and then shifting it over to your Black and White cartridge to then give it Iron Tail. It's a bit of a workaround, but at least it's not an unavailable Dream World ability that I've already talked about before. I give this set Flame Charge instead of Fire Fang. You'll see that Fire Fang is in the additional moves because at its base power, it's greater than Flame Charge, holding a 65 base power. But with Flame Charge, it only has a speed of 65 in the base stats. But Flame Charge, every time launched, it increases Flareon's speed. So while it only does a 50 base power damage, you'll be getting a speed increase every time you do it, which is great because even when maxing out Flareon's speed EVs, its maxed out stat will only be in between 148 and 251. So I could think of a couple of faster metagame matches you will have where an opponent will outrun Flareon very easily. So to have Flame Charge is a great speed advantage. Plus, to make up for some of the lacking base power that you would want with Fire Fang, what I've included as its item is Flame Plate, which powers up any fire type move. Now you do have the option to put Life Orb on there, which will power up all the moves that I've discussed here for Flareon, and that's a good option too, but it does take out some health, so be aware of that. But on top of Flame Plate, you have Flash Fire. The idea with Flareon is that it only enters the field, or that its most optimal time to enter the field, sometimes you just can't get it on certain ways that matches go, but the optimal time to bring it out is when you predict a fire type move. Throw it out then, get the 1.5 times boost for your Flame Charge, and Flame Plate will boost it the rest of the way. Plus, it's a stab move, so you get same type attack bonus. Now what that all figures in with percentages and math and all those crazy things, I've not taken the time to figure out, but what I can tell you is that Flame Charge will be a lot stronger, plus give you the added advantage of the speed boost. So Fire Fang, yeah, even with all this included, would still be a lot stronger. You're not going to get the boost of speed, which can really set Flareon over to be sort of a potential sweeper. This thing's not really going to be sweeping a lot of teams just because it's lowered on speed, but you get off a couple of those flame charges, and at the right time, in the right place, you'll be able to wipe out the team. Now, Dig is also very important because if you enter the field with a fire Pokemon on it, you want to have something ground type in order to take it out. The unfortunate thing about Dig, though, is that it takes one turn to go underground and then another turn to actually launch the maneuver. So by the second turn, your opponent probably already knows to get the heck out of dodge and switch to something that resists ground types, something like a flying type Pokemon. But even from there, you'll have the advantage of your super strong flame charge. Now there's one more slightly altered set 2 of Flareon that I want you all to take a look at and critique as well, because it's a more bulky set, but it uses the same premises of the last one. The moves are exactly the same. It's of course not going to change in its base stats because it's still Flareon, and you're going to want to go with those scarce but very effective physical moves. Unfortunately, yes, you do have to go across a couple of cartridges. Maybe if you have friends on Wi-Fi or here on Planet Poke, in the YouTube comments, they could trade you with different generations of Eevee. This way it has Body Slam on it. But with this set, it's more bulky. It puts EVs towards special defense and defense. Defense is very minuscule. It's actually Flareon's worst stat. So by putting 126 regular defense on it, it kind of equals it out, kind of makes it even. I could see how a lot of you would say that this would be a pointless set, really, but when you consider that most teams have something like an Earthquake on there that's physical, you'd like to include something of a block for that. Perhaps maybe even a Focus Sash instead of a Flame Plate. Really, overall, this is a kind of ineffective set because, you know, unless you're planning to block out special defense or special attack moves, rather, with this set, this Flareon really would be more allocated better towards being a faster striker, because Earthquake will demolish this thing. But it's a bit of a different set. Let me know what you guys think of it. It's just a different placement of the effort values. So that has been Pokemon of the Week. I'm DioGenZ. Remember to subscribe to Planet Poke. Check out my channel in the description for more Pokemon Let's Plays, walkthroughs, and all that good stuff. And do post a video response of the upcoming week's Pokemon of the Week. This way you can be included if you record some battle footage of what that Pokemon will be. You can be included in these episodes and get a nice juicy fat shout out.